my question is, isn't an AI therapist making therapy more accessible? In a country like India, where already the threshold to hire a therapist, to talk to a therapist is so high that you can only do that in an urban city like Delhi, Mumbai, or Bangalore. You can't do that in, let's say, a city like a small city like Patna or a small city like Kanpur. These tier 2, tier 3 cities, you can't hire therapists. And someone who's going through those issues, they have two options: either to pay enormous chunks of money on online therapy to online therapists who they might never see, or get this short list of answers. Now, I completely understand that these might be dangerous, or these might be nuanced, or these might be wrong as well. But sometimes the foot in the door matters the most. And I think AI in therapy is giving that foot in the door.
As you said, that is it not a foot in the door? It obviously is. um, एक कहावत कहते हैं ना से कुछ ही भला अच्छा होता है, right? But when I'm talking about the foot in the door, it will at the end, in long term or might be in short term, harm them only, right? um, it is very much true that टायर 2 सिटीज, टायर 3 सिटीज में साइकोलॉजी एज अ सब्जेक्ट पढ़ना भी इतना एक्सेसिबल नहीं होता है जितना साइकोलॉजिस्ट की कंसल्टेंसी होती है. आई बिलीव वी ऑल यूज इंस्टाग्राम, चाहे हम किसी भी सिटी में हो. And there are many pages which I have come across, which I have been referred to from my teachers, from different my psychology teachers, my principals. Online जो होते हैं, they are Instagram pages जिनका खुद का वेबसाइट होता है, जिनका खुद का कम्युनिटी होता है, that provide online therapies at least prices that goes up to 300 per session. एंड आई कैन टॉक अबाउट 300 पर सेशन. मेरे लिए वो कम हो सकता है, बट कोई और किसी और बैकग्राउंड से आ रहा होगा, उसके लिए वो 300% 300 रुपीज बहुत ज्यादा मैटर करेगा. आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट, बट आई ऑल्सो बिलीव दैट इन दिस फील्ड, when I talk about this field in particular, 300 rupees per session is something that the least we can go.
What you guys talked about is unfortunately a very generalized version of how we look at these things. One thing that we need to realize is that all of AI that is going on right now, the AI that we talk about is ChatGPT, Claude, Anthropic, all of these models. And these models are called large language models, LLMs. And these LLMs train on the data that we have provided, on the data that is on the internet currently. And that internet data comes from actual doctors, actual psychiatrists. It just combines all of that. It shows you the opinions of those people. And maybe we need to take AI with a grain of salt. Yes, that is for sure. But this generalization of it, that अगर ये इंटरनेट बोल रहा है या अगर ये गूगल बोल रहा है, जैसे हम पुराना समझते थे उसको कि अगर मैं गूगल पे लिखूं कि मेरे को सिर दर्द है और वेब एमडी कह रहा है कि मेरे को कैंसर है, दैट जनरलाइजेशन कांट बी मेड for AIs as well, because our language models have evolved so much that it scours through millions of internet forums, millions of internet data to give us an opinion.
My question largely is, do you think, and you've done so much research while creating this presentation, that the impact of AI on businesses and society, do you think it's going to be of an advantage or it's going to be a disadvantage? And everyone has their own perception, but I love to hear from young minds like you.
My point of view is that it would negatively impact the society and the businesses as well. So, first of all, due to excessive population in India, there's already a crisis for jobs, because of which small businesses emerge and people go towards entrepreneurship and starting their own companies or businesses. So, in the case of businesses, I think that AI will definitely take over the jobs because it has more. It is more fast than humans, and it can think more efficiently than what humans can. So it can definitely replace some jobs, and it can also take over the thinking capacity of humans, which will, in the long run, affect the overall productivity of humans. And as for the society, I believe that it might have a positive impact as well, because it also has a lot of benefits to give us. Like it has creative ideas that we might never even think of, or it offers us fresh point of views and perspectives. So from a broader view, if we think of it, we just have to focus on which aspect we are looking upon while thinking of an answer to this
मेरा
question.
सवाल है कि जब कोई अगर AI ले सकता है, अगर मेरे पास लेट्स से 500 रुपीज है और मैं वो AI पे लगा सकता हूँ, और अगर किसी पर्सन के पास 100 है और वो सिर्फ गूगल पे अपने इंटरनेट पे लगा सकता है, क्या मैं एज अ रिस्पोंडेंट उस ऑप्टिमिज्म ट्रैप में नहीं हूँ? मैं उसी अकाउंटेबिलिटी की स्टेट में नहीं हूँ कि जहां पे मेरे को, मैं किसी के लिए अकाउंटेबल नहीं, आई हैव मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन बिकॉज आई हैव इट, बिकॉज मेरे पास रिसोर्सेज ज्यादा है. So how do we make AI more accessible? Your entire presentation was about how AI is accelerating empowerment, but empowerment is getting AI in everybody's hands. How do we do that?
Well, sir, I actually think that AI is the technology we can't ignore, because we already know that it is the future and it is going to impact us in any way, that in every way actually. In every field it is used, and for that there are many workshops and courses are available. Just for this threat not to become a bigger impact on our lives. Like it does not affect our lifestyles. So I think that skills in this time, skills are more important than the technical skills or the technical knowledge, because we already get to know about these things from many of the resources like ChatGPT. We can get anything from that. But when it comes upon the skills and when it comes upon the interest and abilities of a person, it is actually bounded, and it could be learned, because through the courses, through any kind of workshops, or if we are interested actually.
Empathy, ethical judgment, creativity, all of these will be very hard or extremely tough for AI to replicate. But what if in reality, हम future of jobs की बात कर रहे हैं, what if in reality they don't need those skills, they value efficiency, they value scale? जब फोर्ड ने गाड़ी बनानी शुरू करी थी, they weren't looking out to make the best car, they were looking out to make the most efficient car. तो क्या हम गलत फ्यूचर स्किल्स के लिए प्रिपेयर कर रहे हैं एज अ जनरेशन, डू यू थिंक?
So also additionally, there lies a creative trait, that is innovation. AI do what we tells them to do, like what we program in that, it acts accordingly. But in human beings, there is a creative trait, that is innovation. For example, entrepreneurs, they innovate, they take risk, and that is a creative trait that they can never replicate in future even. And there are also so many characteristics like caregiving, also friendly bonds in your workplace, in your school, and etc. AI can never replicate them, so it always makes them like a paradoxical ones.
Yeah.
Do you think that AI will have a positive or a negative impact on our society in the future? What is your, like, I want to know a personal, your personal take. Any one of you can answer. You can answer. Yeah.
Actually, I think like it can be like neutral. For example, if we are having some misuse, like overusing or taking it as our totally lifeline, like for an example, if there is any kind of help we need, any kind of work we need, so we are just dependent on that, then it can be considered as a negative point. But if we are taking it as an opportunity, like as an extra work that we can help into our work, then it can be a positive.
I would like to add something. I have the same perspective, but I think that if you are using AI and like it has many aspects, we can search it up like anything. We can get anything from AI. But if we like first thing first, AI is like helping to create many new jobs, and also I think that it's a plus point for that. But at some point, it is like also degrading the jobs of the like already जो कर रहे हैं.
तो ये जो AI रेडी वर्कफोर्स जो हम सोच रहे हैं वो रियलिस्टिक है, या हम सिर्फ इंडिविजुअल्स को ब्लेम कर रहे हैं कि तुम AI के लिए ट्रेंड नहीं हो, सो यू आर नॉट रेडी फॉर द फ्यूचर? वेयरएज हमें ये देखना चाहिए कि क्या हमारा स्ट्रक्चर AI के लिए रेडी है, क्या हम उस तरह से डेवलप्ड हैं कि वी कैन just plug and play AI into our existing softwares and our existing structures and our existing employee databases, जहां पे हमने बस AI को लगाया and we start running.
You were talking about structure, right? So any structure, It could be AI structured, it could be job market structured, it could be financial structure, it could be any of these structure. If I was to talk about structure in general, any structure is framed by whom? The structure is framed by the government at the end of the day. Being an individual, अगर मैं अपने आप को बोलूँ कि वो मुझे तो इतना स्किल आता है, आई नो एआई इतना ज्यादा, या मैंने टूल्स को एक्सपर्टाइज कर लिया है, वो सारी चीजें, बट देन अगर मेरे पास एक प्लेटफॉर्म ही नहीं है टू वेयर आई कैन परफॉर्म दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग, सो दैट डजंट मीन दैट आई विल ब्लेम द स्ट्रक्चर ऑन इट, बिकॉज अगर लेट्स से कि हमारे पास कितने सारे जॉब्स आते हैं, कितने सारे स्टार्टअप्स आते हैं, राइट? वो स्टार्टअप्स पहले एग्जिस्ट नहीं करते थे. इफ आई वाज टू टॉक अबाउट आवर लॉ, लॉ हमारा कैसे एनहांस हुआ, जो लॉ स्ट्रक्चर है वो कैसे एनहांस हुआ, दैट वाज नॉट डिपेंडेंट अपॉन एन इंडिविजुअल. अगर कोई लॉयर अपना पूरा लॉ प्रैक्टिस कर ले, तो वो लॉ स्ट्रक्चर इज प्रिपेयर्ड बाय द सुप्रीम कोर्ट, वो लॉज बिल्स इज पास्ड बाय द पार्लियामेंट्स एंड लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल्स एंड अ लॉट ऑफ अदर पीपल आर इन्वॉल्व्ड विद इट. सो अगर हम वो चीज प्रपोज नहीं करेंगे कि ओके दिस इज द पर्टिकुलर इफेक्ट इन दैट पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रक्चर, और दिस इज द पर्टिकुलर थिंग दैट कैन बी enhanced within the structure, so that will not be given into practice, और वो चीज implement नहीं हो पाएगी. If I was to talk about irrespective of this AI वाली thing and talk about जो last news हमारी आई थी, I know I shouldn't be discussing this, but to give an example, जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी एक एग्जाम्पल दैट पास किया था, 40 डॉग्स, राइट? तो बहुत सारे लोगों ने वो लाइक अगेंस्ट किया था उनके, एंड दे वर अगेंस्ट कि ये क्यों हो रहा है, वो सारी चीजें. तो इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन दैट स्ट्रक्चर में जितनी चीजें हैं, how much we are adapting it, how much we are against it to make it correct or to make it enhance or to have that adaptability. schools के अंदर जो e-learning आई थी, वो स्ट्रक्चर के अंदर नहीं थी, वो एक ट्रेंड को फॉलो करके आई थी. सो
तो
आई होप दैट आंसर्स योर
मेरा
क्वेश्चन.
मेरा बस आपसे यही एक काउंटर है कि व्हाट डू यू थिंक एआई इम्प्लीमेंटेशन जो है, विल इट बेटर बी इन अ टॉप डाउन पर्सपेक्टिव, कि हम ऊपर से फ्रॉम द बिगेस्ट ऑफ द बिगेस्ट ब्रांचेस, कि हम सीधा ही टाटास, एचसीएल्स, इन्फोसिस को टारगेट कर रहे हैं कि ये लोग एआई लेके आएंगे हमारे देश में, गवर्नमेंट एआई लेके आएगी, और डू वी लुक एट इट एट फ्रॉम अ बॉटम अप पर्सपेक्टिव, दैट की कॉमन से कॉमन बंदा जो है, जो मे बी प्रॉबेबली समवन हु इज सेलिंग वेजिटेबल्स ऑन द साइड ऑफ द रोड, ही इज ऑल्सो यूजिंग एआई, वो एआई जब इंप्लीमेंट करना शुरू करेगा, दैट्स व्हेन वील से कि हाँ भाई, now AI is widespread and we are implementing it in our daily lives. किसके ऊपर वो burden of responsibility है, bottom up है या top down?
I think the burden has to be taken both by the infrastructural government and as the individual. Because see, I being an educator, I believe they should start at the learning level itself. And also, as a parent, also I feel our idea of job has yet to change. We are still not ready to accept that there is something beyond the core professionals that we have. AI is still, I can say, a domain where we don't want our kids to venture that much. हाँ, थोड़ा बहुत AI के एस्पेक्ट है, अच्छा अच्छा कोडिंग कर लेंगे, अच्छा अच्छा ये कर लेंगे, but still taking up as a proper profession, we still as a parent need to evolve that idea. And me being an educator also, why I'm repeating this, because I can cite examples from the school level. I have seen government is spending quite a lot in establishing all these AI platforms in the school. Curriculum is being revised. A lot of district level conclaves are being held, so that because we are the one who are providing the platform to them. So if we are ready to adapt and change, this is a place from where the change will really start. Because हम किसी को हाथ में फोन दे दे और वो पेटीएम कर ले और कुछ चीजें देख ले, that is not AI. It is about shaping the future. So we have to start right from the ground level, right from the, we can say, nursery, kindergarten, grade 1, या कहीं भी our 10th and 12th are going out to be a part of the workforce. So if they are not well guided, today also when I see the counseling sectors coming up in the schools, they still are focusing on lawyers, engineers and all. Why not train our or guide our children in a better way of upcoming prospects? So maybe this researchers should be more open to them, so they understand what is the need of the hour, where they should guide the kids in a better way, so that we actually say that, okay, we are the futuristic place.
Do you think like this connection of human connection, AI interaction with advancements in AI in the future, do you think the role of the domain that you spoke about would be relevant still, or do you think AI can catch up and replace that role of the domain expertise?
I think it would still be relevant if you ask about my opinion. Like as Aristotle very rightly said that humans are social beings. They have to survive socially. So if a person cannot feel or cannot have that human connection later on in life, it would be very difficult for them to survive in a setting like this. Besides that, we can also see that the population. I would talk about this one thing, that how the population is increasing and increasing day by day. So I think even if AI catches up with this particular thing, people would still be around humans. They would still need them to talk about their to talk about their problems, to talk about things, and feel amongst themselves and feel a connection. So I don't.
Let's say the machines take over the routine tasks. सबसे basic tasks जो हैं वो machine ने ले लिया हमसे. And humans जो हैं उनके पास सिर्फ higher order tasks बचे हैं. And सारे जो higher order thinking skills हैं वो हमारे लिए रह गई. तो अब क्या होगा, जो displaced workers हैं वो क्या actually upward move करेंगे, या we'll simply live in this brutal reality जहाँ पे there will be a fallout in the labor market because the new entry barrier will be too high. क्योंकि basic जो चीजें, data entry, data consideration, data analysis, all of that will be done through AI. तो जो एक entry level job होती थी to the common person here in India who works in a call center, who works in a data center, what about them? Once the entry barrier is too high, वो किस तरह से हम AI को implement करेंगे? I have two questions.
The labor class will still be at the same level it is right now. But we are saying that AI can be a partner to us. It would not able to replace us.
I feel like even if AI, replaces that basic function that you mentioned, like data consideration and all, people would naturally adapt themselves to that technology. Because we
Yeah.
humans, we are, we naturally know how to survive in environment according to technology and anything. So even if AI replaces that basic functions, humans or the therapist would upgrade themselves to also, stay on the level of AI. So that
If therapy with AI is dependent on trust, trust is built on privacy, and privacy is systematically dismantled in this data-driven economy. You and I are pieces of data, and there is little to no privacy that we have. So in the foundation of AI-assisted care and self-care, isn't it an attack on our privacy? And isn't it just this last bastion that we are handing over to the tech companies, that अब तो सब दे दिया, आप हमारी last mental peace भी आप ले सकते हैं? So what do you guys think? How do we tackle that challenge of privacy in this AI assisted world?
Let's not think of it as handling our last bit of privacy to these companies. Let's say with evolving AI, the laws about it will evolve too. Like there would be strong data protection laws and transparent algorithms and strict ethical boundaries that can actually extend access to therapy, especially for people who think otherwise they will never seek due to the stigma in the society. And yes, the risk is real, of course it is. But the solution isn't to just reject AI outright. It is to adapt with AI and to demand stronger safeguards and accountability.
Lifelong learning is painted as the solution that you guys are presenting, but doesn't this place the burden on adaptation entirely on individuals? That if you fall behind, it's because you stopped learning. It's because it's your fault that you can't grow with the times. Whereas the corporations will reap the benefits of the automation and just people in general without actually providing a safety net for people. What do you think?
It's not about individual, it's about societal thing. I mean, देखिए, अगर गवर्नमेंट अगर एआई में इन्वेस्ट या ऐसा नहीं करते कुछ ऐसा, आई मीन एजुकेशन में ये सब प्रोग्रेस, तो या ऐसा होता है ऐसा गड़बड़. तो इसलिए गवर्नमेंट और बाकी सिस्टम को भी, मतलब अभी आया ना न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी, अभी भी ठीक से इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं हुआ, तो आई गेस कि फ्यूचर में कर ले गवर्नमेंट ये इम्प्लीमेंट, तो बहुत स्टूडेंट्स का फायदा होगा.
it's a responsibility of both the individual and the system to collaborate with the AI and then grow.
You're young people, you will be going into the job market very soon, probably pretty soon, right? Few years from now. Do you feel at this point of time, especially when you worked on this presentation and you interact with so many respondents, do you feel a threat to AI, or are you excited to work along AI in the future? So what is it? You feel happy, excited, or do you feel a little not too excited?
Uh, for now, ma'am, I feel excited. I mean, for now, AI is not perfect. I mean, if you create any image from Midjourney or something, it still not create any perfect image. Still need human creativity and all. And so, ma'am, abhi bhi AI perfect nahi ho, but in the future, maybe, yeah, it can be threat. But for now, it's great tool.
You guys talked about the human purpose and big ideas. पर अगर वही चीज है कि एआई जो है अगर वो हमारे सबसे रूटीन और कॉग्निटिव टास्क के ऊपर ले लेता है और आप कह रहे हो कि ह्यूमंस जो है वो बड़े आइडियाज पे फोकस करेंगे, उनकी क्रिएटिविटी ज्यादा आगे फ्यूल होगी, बट ये एक बहुत एलिटिस्ट थॉट नहीं है? आपको लगता है कि जहाँ पे ज्यादातर लोग जो हैं वो इस एब्स्ट्रैक्ट आइडिया जनरेटर उस रोल में एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं कर सकते, उनको एक स्टेबिलिटी चाहिए अपने काम में से, एंड क्रिएटिविटी रेयरली प्रोवाइड्स दैट। तो तब क्या होगा जब लाखों को कोई रोल ही नहीं मिलेगा विदाउट क्रिएटिविटी? तो उसके लिए वो क्या करेंगे कि मार्केट हमारी जब सिर्फ क्रिएटिविटी पे डिपेंड हो जाएगी तो तब हम क्या करेंगे?
But what we're trying to say here is that creativity also matters, and not every individual is creative. That's also fine. And there are a lot of jobs that do not require us to be creative. It requires the AI. It requires that instead of human to call again and again to a person and to reply, maybe an automated reply would do that. But there are also a lot of jobs, a lot of areas like writing a book, publishing an author, like publishing a book as well. It requires creativity that AI would not really justify, would not the responses by AI would not satisfy that. And I think if you notice an image that is created by AI, it looks really the moment that you see that image, you would know that it's made by AI. So that there is where the creativity lacks, and it's not really that realistic. So when you also hear people when they've had the scripts made by AI, you get the gist even by their voice modulation. They don't have that right voice modulation, or probably the words are very repetitive. So I think that's the difference between how there are different jobs, and probably there are some jobs where AI might be used, and there are some jobs that AI might not be used. But to conclude, AI is not just an evil; it's also a good thing. But the way we use it, we make it an evil.
आपको क्या लगता है कि द फ्यूचर ऑफ वर्क और एआई रिलेटेड फ्यूचर ऑफ वर्क की जो हम जिसके बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं, उसका एक स्ट्रेंथ और एक वीकनेस आपके हिसाब से जो आपको पर्सनली एक स्ट्रेंथ लगता है, एक एनी वन ऑफ यू कैन आंसर।
I think that the weakness here would be that there won't be much of an originality, right? When authors write their books, when people write poetries, when there are Studio Ghibli being generated by AI, being generated by ChatGPT, you do not see the realistic part of the originality there. And I think the strength would be that it's very much accessible, and I think it saves a lot of time that we can use for our pleasure activities instead of being a lot of work driven at that moment. So I think that are the two strengths and weaknesses.
Do you think AI is going to create a positive connotation on society, or it is going to have a negative connotation on society in the coming years?
So, ma'am, I feel like from the freedom of our India, we have always focused on education. Education is the only mean to progress India. So, awareness. If awareness is spread through the youth, how safely to use AI, how to prompt ChatGPT. So I think that we'll have a positive connotation. But yes, if awareness is not being done, I feel it is a negative connotation.
Why should we always view AI as something that's going to replace the human mind? Why not view it as something that's going to complement it?
If we stay creative and responsible at the same time, then AI will definitely be more of a partner than a problem.
Every group has somehow concluded that AI can't replace empathy, creativity, moral judgment, that these all will be inherently the human advantages that we will hold on to. But isn't that a very dangerous consensus that we all are coming to? that markets will one day value those qualities, such as creativity or moral judgment or empathy, as better than other qualities. What if AI becomes good enough to stimulate empathy or stimulate moral judgment better than us, and real human empathy becomes a luxury product for the rich? कि अगर कोई गरीब बंदा है, उसको सिर्फ रिसोर्स जो मिल रहा है वो एक AI थेरेपी का है, और जो कोई अमीर है वो जा सकता है एक एक्चुअल थेरेपिस्ट के साथ, बिकॉज लोगों ने अपनी मार्केट ने ही उस वैल्यू को इतना इन्फ्लेट कर दिया कि वो एक लग्जरी प्रोडक्ट बन गया। जैसे अब हम एक सब्जी हम 50 रुपए की भी ले सकते हैं और 500 रुपए की भी ले सकते हैं। 500 रुपए की इसलिए लेते हैं क्योंकि उसके ऊपर ऑर्गेनिक लिखा होता है। क्या रियल ह्यूमन एम्पैथी या रियल क्रिएटिविटी वो लग्जरी प्रोडक्ट बन जाएगा फ्यूचर में?
Now, I think that no matter how much we try, but I feel that sooner or later, people will need to identify that these life skills also matter. The robots are made to only work and not feel, and we are made to feel and work. Then we are definitely superior than robots as of now.
Right. Also, a machine can be trained to recognize a tear, a smile, or even patterns of suffering, but it cannot feel the sting of loss. AI can imitate humanity, but it cannot be human. That is the difference.
That maybe empathy or life skills can be a luxury product in future. Yes, they can be, but always there's a circle of wheel that revolves around to one point. Bhakti movement say we did not see any bhakti, but right now in 21st century the bhakti movement is coming back. Everybody is so engrossed in this, reading Bhagavad Gita, going to temples, so that time travel comes. So अगर एक point पे वो luxury product बन गया ना, तो time will travel and the people will understand that how important life skills are.
That AI can definitely mimic empathy. Real human empathy is not just about comforting responses, it's about shared vulnerability. And I definitely not think that AI can show vulnerability. And even if it does become a luxury, if human empathy does become a luxury in the future, तो इतिहास गवाह है, whenever something vital becomes expensive and inaccessible, like education, medicine, yeah, even internet access, then movements have risen to make it more universal and equitable.